Good to see you again, and all in one piece to boot. But hey, let's get down to business. Got something that might be up your alley. We've been tipped off about a weapons cache that some of the local pirate gangs have been slowly building up. Stockpiles of heavy weaponry, mines, ordnance, you name it. You got it in one. We're gonna set off our own little fireworks show before they can put those weapons to use. You in? All right. So they think they've hidden this place pretty well. There'll be turret defenses, a ship or two ready to call in, but if we can hit it hard before any heavier warships can arrive, we can do a lot of damage real fast. Oh, this is gonna be fun. I'll see you out there.
I only do this because she's got great cleavage and nice eyes.
Engines at maximum.
I don't want a babysitter again, but I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have to babysit her. Oh, I hope. Hey, come on, target. Untarget that thing. I don't care about the destroyer. Target. There it is. So I've played this game a fair bit by this point. I have not put most of it up on the internet just because it's just boring shit like me flying around blowing stuff up. Or me flying around getting blown up. It's awesome. It does have some shortcomings. The targeting system is a little bit annoying. Coming from like a freelancer, Free Space 2 kind of Dark Star 1 kind of game. It's a little bit annoying not to select your targets, but at the same time, with all the smart targeting of the turrets, all you gotta do is kind of point your broadsides at whatever you want to shoot at. Lets you kind of focus more on the bigger picture rather than trying to kill that one thing. And the difficulty, or the risk, I should say, of missions I feel is a little bit misleading. Like, risk low, risk average, I feel like they're lower than they ought to be. Like, this should be an average risk mission, because I find like average risk missions I'm oftentimes trying to break a fucking siege. It's not, I don't think that's an average risk. Flying into a besieged city on my own, trying to break it with a hold full of cargo. There's nothing average risk about that. But in the descriptions for the mission, they call it a high risk thing, right? So there seems to be some discrepancies over what the mission description on the mission board was compared to what the end-game mission risk is. And I feel like the stuff that, like, the risk low I'm seeing right now is calculated based off of my ship and my equipment. Leech rockets!
Craft inbound. Missiles inbound. Engines impaired. Front level yellow.
Alright, here we go. See all those heavy containers? Those are our target. Looks like there's some leech turrets around the perimeter. They'll slow us down if we don't take them out first. I'm gonna knock these spiders out as fast as I can. Let's move.
Don't die.
Engines are no longer
Please don't die.
Missiles inbound. Engines impaired.
I need to deal with these leech rocket platforms.
Engines are no longer impaired.
There's one.
Rubber shields down.
Oh.
Deflectors depleted. Missiles inbound. Engines impaired. Engines are no longer impaired.
Alright, that's nice.
That's a kill.
Alright. So yeah, like this is one of those cases where it's kind of nice to not worry about targeting. Like, my beams focus on the objectives, my turrets focus on trying to keep me alive. So I'm okay with this at the moment, or how this goes. shit.
Missiles inbound. Engines impaired. Sublight boosters depleted. Engines are no longer impaired. Missiles inbound.
These are some pretty tough turrets.
Engines are no longer impaired. Missiles inbound. Engines impaired. Engines are no longer impaired.
Now, this is an interesting thing for the destroyer type ships. There seems to be a narrow cone of engagement,
Missiles inbound.
kind of like
Engines impaired.
45 degrees either side from your nose,
Engines are no longer impaired.
which makes sense. You're
Red Devil forces are moving in. Looks like some destroyers.
Port shields down. Engines impaired.
Does not
Engines
help.
are no longer impaired.
Does
Port
not help
shields down.
that
Port shields
that
down.
this storm.
Look what we got here.
Enemy pod inbound. Threat level orange. Nebula interference detected. Threat level yellow.
We've got half of them destroyed. Let's take out the rest.
Christ, really? A lot of work for this. Got some good songs though.
Satellite boosters depleted.
Ah, shit.
Missiles inbound.
But there, yeah, you get stuff like that where obviously the targeting system thought that Corsair was more priority than the capital ship I was firing at, so it launched some beams at the Corsair. And this thing's already
Satellite boosters depleted.
slow as it is.
Threat level yellow.
Oh, those nanobots were the best purchase I ever made. And I think the turret optimizer is helping as well. Shit.
Hell yes!
I'm glad someone's having fun.
Interference detected.
Oh, is that it? I think that's it.
Collision warning.
Oh, there's one right there.
Accelerating the subline. Exiting subline.
Titanium, I'll take that. Ceramic plating, I'll take that. Alright, that's them all.
The weapons stockpile is fully destroyed. Let's get out of here. No sense waiting for any more company to arrive. You did good. This is turning out to be a pretty profitable relationship.
Collision warning. Bounty received.
Munitions, I'll take it.
Accelerating to subline.
I wonder where she goes.
Thanks again. I'll keep you in mind if any interesting jobs come my way. See you around.
Ordnance full. Mission complete. Subway
Ah,
boosters
I
depleted.
guess we gotta go talk to this cuckfucker. Alright, whatever, fine. I don't want to bribe him. I really wish, yeah, I hope there's like upgraded nanobots later on in the game that actually repairs your hull slowly, because that'd be awesome. So what was I saying? Right, controls, mechanics. It's a little bit annoying that this is only two-dimensional, but it makes the game really simple and just as infuriating as it can be. It's actually a lot of fun to just fly around in a big old spaceship and just like blow stuff up, you know, naval style. But I can't harp on this game for that because I feel like every science fiction game does that, like Free Space. They all do it. Every science fiction media, when it comes to space combat, they treat it two-dimensionally. Battlestar Galactica was the first one I played. No, let's not do that. Was the first one I played that had sort of three-dimensional combat. And even that three-dimensional combat was still kind of limited. There was only so high you could go. And you didn't want to go too high anyway because you'd be out of effective weapons range. Well, maybe that would be useful.
Accelerating to sublight.
But it's not just, I guess... What are you doing, harassing minors? Fuck you, man. But it's not the limitations of the game engine or people's comprehension of space. It's how they design spaceships. And it's not just a game thing, it's a human race thing. Like, every ship that has been designed by humanity has an up and a down. You don't need an up or down in space. Yes, I know, like, orbital planes and stuff like that, and the universe, or our solar system for sure, is basically just a giant pizza box. But, the universe effectively goes off infinitely in all directions. So, it doesn't really matter what direction you call up. So there's no need to design a ship like this. It looks great, but there's nothing stopping them from putting, like, turrets everywhere, all along the sides, all along the top, all along the bottom. The only thing that'd be limiting that many weapons would be like power requirements, right? So maybe you would have, you know, fewer turrets because that's all power you could put out. But I feel like I could be wrong, but I feel like if you're on a ship that has the energy to relatively easily go faster than the speed of light, I don't imagine you're worried about power requirements at that point. But still, there doesn't need to be a proper up or down, and I think that's why space games are designed the way they are, because it's just how we design vehicles ergonomically. The idea of a vehicle just being a cylinder with no up or down is a very foreign and possibly impractical concept to humans. We work good in gravity having an up and a down, so that's why there's always going to be port, starboard, what have you. But it kind of reduces your effectiveness because you will have blind spots, and there does not need to be blind spots. I guess is what I'm trying to say. So okay. But at the same time, having a ship. Yeah, screw you. Agreed. So, the Hexite.
No, ette aiu vain loida sitä sanomanin vein selovutta. Niin, sinun pitää varastaa sitä tai taistella sitä. Mutta en voi koittaa sinua oikein suuntaan.
The other thing, I guess, is, like, you're obviously a bad guy. Like, why? Well, you ain't just gonna find it. No one ain't gonna hand it over either. You're gonna have to steal or